Do you recall being told to drink milk every morning during your childhood? And have you ever questioned why this was necessary? Today's episode will explore the possibility that this behavior was influenced by advertising and government propaganda that emphasized the importance of calcium. We will discuss the idea that we have been brainwashed into thinking that drinking milk was essential for our health and well-being, and how this messaging may have been influenced by government initiatives. We will also look into the scientific evidence supporting the benefits of milk consumption, as well as any potential drawbacks or controversies surrounding this practice. Believe it or not, the real reason has nothing to do with its taste or nutrition. In this video, we'll uncover the surprising history of milk consumption and the marketing campaign that made it a household staple. We'll also explore some of the controversies and challenges surrounding this beloved beverage. Get ready to learn the real reason why milk became popular. You won't want to miss it. Nowadays, there are alternatives to dairy milk. Alternate kinds of milk derived from plants such as soy or almonds are becoming more popular. These alternatives are frequently vegan and can be suitable for persons who are allergic to or intolerant to milk. But the rise of alternative milk is only the most recent chapter in the saga of humanity's relationship with animal milk. This partnership has been going on for thousands of years and has seen many ups and downs. As people and cattle moved around, they brought with them a genetic change called lactose tolerance, which appeared out of the blue soon after dairy products were made. Like all mammals, humans weren't made to digest lactose, the natural sugar in milk, after they had grown up. But around 6000 BCE, some adults in Europe, parts of Africa, and the Middle East started to be able to handle lactose. This trait spread through the population. It's possible that adults already drank milk from other mammals because being sick was better than dying during these times of famine, and babies always needed milk if they didn't have a mother or wet nurse. As people changed and grew, they laid the groundwork for our culture of drinking milk. It took the domestication of cattle, which came after sheep and goats, and a quirk of genetics to get the ancient dairy industry going. The dairy began in what is now Turkey around 8000 BCE. Because there was no refrigeration back then, the first milk from animals was turned into yogurt, cheese, and butter to keep the food safe. But the reason behind milk became so famous is war. During World War II, people had to increase milk production so that we could make processed dairy products to send to soldiers overseas. But because farmers weren't getting paid enough, they weren't making enough to meet this demand. So the government said, "Great, we'll create demand for milk by giving it to our kids. That way there will be a need for fluid milk, and we can make the processed products we need for soldiers." So war played a part. It's also about being easy to use. As more people moved to cities and women started working outside the home, cow's milk became a convenient way to feed babies when mothers couldn't always be at home to breastfeed. And as the dairy business grows, farmers have a reason to try to increase demand for dairy by getting help from the government. What is known is that the dairy industry has spent millions of dollars on advertising and marketing campaigns to promote the health benefits of milk and other dairy products. This has played a significant role in shaping public opinion and contributing to the popularity of milk. At the same time, critics have argued that the dairy industry's influence on nutrition research and government policy has also helped to promote milk as an essential part of a healthy diet. In the early 1900s, everything finally came together. In 1914, the first tank trucks for moving milk went into service. By 1917, all milk in the U.S. had to be pasteurized unless it came from a cow that had been tested and shown to be free of tuberculosis. Congress passed the Capper-Volstead Act in 1922. This law said that producers of agricultural goods like milk could act together in associations to organize the processing, handling, and marketing of milk and other agricultural goods. In the 1930s, milk cans were replaced with large storage tanks on farms, and plastic-coated milk cartons were made, which made it easier to get fresh milk to more people. So began the journey that led to the gut milk ads by the National Milk Processor, and the acceptance of milk as an important part of the Western diet. The gut milk advertising campaign was a game changer. In the early 1990s, dairy farmers in California were struggling with overproduction and falling milk prices. It seemed like the dairy industry was in crisis with no way out. That's when the California Milk Processor Board came up with a daring plan to launch an advertising campaign that would make milk cool again. The result was the Gut Milk campaign created by the innovative ad agency Goodby, Silverstein & Partners. It was a bold move, but it paid off. The ads featured celebrities and everyday people with milk mustaches struggling to accomplish tasks without milk. The tagline, Gut Milk, became a cultural phenomenon, appearing everywhere, from billboards to t-shirts. The Gut Milk campaign wasn't just a marketing success, it was a cultural moment. It became a part of American pop culture, referenced in movies, TV shows, and even political campaigns. The ads were so successful that the National Dairy Board adopted the campaign and used it to promote milk consumption across the United States. But like any cultural phenomenon, the Gut Milk campaign wasn't without its critics. Some argued that it promoted an industry that had been linked to environmental problems, animal welfare concerns, and public health issues. But here comes the big question: does our body really need it? Milk doesn't really deserve its special status in our diet any more than pumpkin seeds do because they're high in magnesium, which is an essential nutrient that many Americans are lacking. Even the dairy industry acknowledges that milk is not essential to good health. They can't argue with that fact. Their main argument now is that milk and dairy products are the most convenient way to get calcium. However, this argument doesn't really hold up anymore. The National Dairy Council knows that kale, bok choy, and broccoli are all better at absorbing calcium than milk. Who knew that 2 tablespoons of dried ground basil have almost as much calcium as a glass of milk? Statistics show that milk is not nearly as healthy as the dairy industry might want you to think. Several studies haven't been able to prove that drinking milk makes bones less likely to break, which is one of its supposed benefits. Kevin Matthews of Care2 looked at a Swedish study that tracked the eating habits of more than 100,000 adults for 10 to 20 years. Contrary to what most people think, those who said that they drank the most milk were the ones who broke their bones the most. So, should we stop drinking milk? Ultimately, the decision to drink milk is a personal one. Some people enjoy the taste and find it a convenient way to get important nutrients. Others choose to avoid it for ethical, environmental, or health reasons. Whatever your stance on milk, it's important to make informed decisions about what you put in your body. So next time you pour yourself a glass of milk, take a moment to consider the complex history and cultural significance behind it. And that's a wrap. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it informative and enjoyable. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And if you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way, you won't miss a thing.